Hello and welcome to the Wine Enthusiast podcast, your serving of wine trends and passionate people beyond the bottle. I'm Anne Krebiehl, the contributing editor for Alsace, Austria and England here at Wine Enthusiast. In this episode, I'll talk to Eric Zwiebel about the sparkling wines of Alsace, which are called Crémant d'Alsace. We taste 3 of these together, we explain where they're from, how they were made, when to drink them, and we also suggest what kind of food you can pair them with. Eric Zwiebel is from Alsace and grew up with wine, helping out in his parents' restaurant. And today, he works as head sommelier at the Summer Lodge Hotel in Dorset in southwest England, where his wine list holds many treasures from Alsace and across the world. Did you know that sparkling wine has been made in Alsace for more than 100 years? We'll hear more about that. And did you know that Crémant can be fantastic value? Of course, we'll also taste 3 very different recently rated Crémant d'Alsace. Hello, Eric.
Hello, everyone. I'm very pleased to be the man has been chosen to represent my place.
So when the French have a choice of drinking fizz, what they go for first is the obvious choice, champagne, but if it's not champagne, the number 1 sparkling wine that is consumed in France is Crémant d'Alsace. So, first of all, Eric, where is Alsace in France?
We are completely what we call the eastern part of France.
So it's not a hot place, but it's a very sunny place, and it's also a very dry place because the Vosges Mountains keep all the rain at bay. And the other thing that is interesting about Alsace is that it's actually got a fairly long tradition of making sparkling wine. That is down to a young man called Julien Dopf. Along with his father, young Julien, exactly 119 years ago, he went from Alsace to Paris to the World Exhibition, and there they tasted champagne together. And because they came from a winemaking family, they thought, oh wow, we should be doing this because they loved it so much. And so young Julien went to Champagne, learned everything about how you get bubbles into the bottle, and then he came back to Alsace, and ever since then there has been Crémant produced in Alsace. And we should probably also say that the word Crémant is the word that the French law uses to describe sparkling wines that have been made by the traditional method. So, Eric, what is traditional method sparkling wine?
Now, traditional method, technically, it's about to start with condition, the climate condition. You need a place where you have got high acidity, but the traditional method are technically to be use a dry white wine and to make that fizz. That means you need to know the recipe and add it some yeast to make the bubbles to happen in the bottle, because it doesn't come like that naturally.
So in order to get the bubbles into the bottle, you need to make a still wine first.
Exactly.
So you harvest grapes, you press them, you ferment them, and then you have a still base wine. And then you fill that wine into these bottles, and you add a bit of sugar and a bit of yeast, and then you seal them. And then it ferments in the bottle. And that's really why whenever you lift a sparkling wine bottle and you see the punt at the bottom and you feel how heavy it is, that is because this poor bottle, this glass, has to withstand 5 bars of pressure, which I am told is the same pressure as the tires on a London omnibus. I don't know, but people keep saying it.
It is.
So, I have brought 3 beautiful wines along. I'm excited about tasting them, and I have an inkling that Eric likes it too.
Of course. What is better to celebrate than a few bubbles?
What are we celebrating today, Eric?
Sure. Do you mind if we can start it to you to
Yes.
open the first one?
Yes, let's get started. And of course, Eric has grabbed a particular bottle right away.
Exactly. Alors, the first bottle I've chosen, it's produced by an estate called Dirler-Calais, and it's what we call a Brut Nature. It's also based on the vintage 2014, where it has been a great vintage for Alsace wines. And the reason why I am quite excited to open this one is because it's Brut Nature. Brut Nature means almost or not at all any dosage. That means the wine should show quite pure, straight, quite grassy, and very vibrant. It's a very specific type of sparkling wines where usually the most educated palate love it because it's quite unique. Do you mind if we open it?
No, let's go. I can't wait. And I've brought it because it is one of my favorites for exactly that reason. Because it's bone dry and it's fresh and it is thrilling. So let's see.
Now
wow.
let's see what the bubbles going to do. Et voilà.
Ah, that was very professional, Eric.
Sure. Would like to test it?
Oh, yes, please. Oh, it's really fresh. And it's really lemony with that creamy core that you get in traditional method sparkling wines. Because what we've just described about those yeasts in the bottle and fermenting in that bottle, they give you the bubbles, but what they also give you, what the yeast also gives you, is those lovely flavors. So you get, in a way, you get all of the freshness of the grape and of the acidity with these flavors of lemon that I love. Mm-hmm. But then you also get this creamy side of it and those lovely fine bubbles. So, salute, Eric.
Salute. Alors, I just want to say on the nose, as you mentioned, it's very lemony. It has got a little bit of green fruit, and it's true, you have got a little bit of mark of the yeast, but I don't find that too heavy at all, because sometimes yeast can be too much, too brioche. There, it's very fine, it's elegant.
And I also like the aftertaste, because despite the fact that there is no added sugar in this wine, I seem to have some kind of honey flavor.
It has got a little bit of honey flavor. It's quite tender, but you can feel the freshness of this sparkling wine. It has got quite a racy taste to it. The minerality is there. You have got almost a touch of saltiness on the palate.
Yes.
And I find that very, very attractive because it is obviously something you can open as an aperitif. But you can also play with food. And in this case, for me, something it's more complicated for some of the other classic brut to play with something like quite iodine character, like oysters. It's worked perfectly. Something quite smoky, like mackerels or herring. It's really, really the kind of sparkling wine I find very appropriate for it.
So the iodine and the saltiness, you say, makes you think of seafood. I can see that. Sadly, we haven't brought any food along. We should have, really. Now, this wine, like so many in Alsace, is made from unusual grape varieties, because here we have 50% of Pinot Gris, and then we have 45% of Auxerrois, and we've got 5% of Pinot Noir.
Yep.
And one of the other things that I love about it is that it was farmed organically and biodynamically. The base wines were fermented with indigenous yeasts, and then we had the second fermentation in bottle, and there was nothing more added, and we are just basically partaking of purity, which I like.
As you know, Pinot Blanc, Pinot Auxerrois are the second grape, are the most planted in Alsace. And you don't see so many Pinot Blanc or Pinot Auxerrois as a dry wine, because actually most of the producers use as well as a main grape in a sparkling wine called Crémant. And it is there a beautiful example about a wine with 45% of Pinot Auxerrois. Pinot Noir give you a little bit more structure and complexity, and the Pinot Gris give you and even the more the richness to it.
So this is Dirler Cadet, Crémant d'Alsace Brut Nature from 2014. And it's one of my favorites. I've stocked up on this at home because I like to drink this as an aperitif or also sometimes when I work late as a pick-me-up. And you might have heard me crunching the foil of the second bottle because we are now moving on to taste something different, which I think I have picked this because it's very different from what we had before. Ooh, okay. Bang.
Whoa.
Mine was not as silent as yours, but here we go. This is, you say the name, you say it better than I do.
Alors, it's Charles Boer Estates from Egisheim.
And one of the reasons why I love this Crémant is that it has spent 2 years in bottle on its lees, on those dead yeast cells. And we're just sniffing here, but to me this is really rounder already.
Yep.
This is not so much on the knife edge. This is a bit more emollient.
Yeah, and it's quite subtle as well, but you can see the appearance from the perception you have got from the nose. The yeast are a little bit more marked, and I love it as well, but it's more a classic style compared about the previous one where it was more something more for when you're looking for more energy and vibrancy. That's more rich, rounder, gentle.
And I think people who usually drink champagne will feel like they're coming home here.
Completely.
It's beautifully dry, it is restrained, it has this creaminess, but everybody who loves traditional method sparkling wine and is a champagne drinker will be pleasantly surprised about how affordable this is. This is something we wanted to talk about, Eric, didn't we? About affordability.
Exactly. I think one of the reasons why Crémant become more popular and popular every year, it's because champagne, they are fantastic expression and they are beautiful bubbles, but they can be for some people very pricey. And I think if you want to find an alternative to give the same quality but with a smaller budget, it's exactly a fantastic example.
So tell me, our Brut Nature made you think of everything salty and seafoody. This to me is far more...
A little bit richer.
Yeah.
And personally, I think I will use everything that quite as what we call a meaty fish or a white meat, something like scallops, salmon, breast of chicken fed with corns, with a creamy sauce, something nice, easy, not complicated, but just to work. For someone who doesn't want to drink white or red or rosé wines, to give an alternative, to have got something what you can play and to complement with food, I find that very easy.
Oh, you're making me hungry.
I get that.
That is beautiful. But you are right. These wines are versatile. And once you get used to their sort of inherent lightness, the fact that they're just so refreshing, I think in the past year, if I really look at what I've actually swallowed rather than tasted, there's been a lot of fizz. So let us open another bottle. This is Domaine du Clos sur l'Andela, Domaine René Muret, and they're in the very south of Alsace in a beautiful village called Rouffach. And here we have their Crémant Rosé. And the special thing, Eric, about Alsace Crémant Rosé is that
it's only made with Pinot Noir.
Exactly.
And that's why also I think it's important to say Pinot Noir, it's one of the grape in Alsace are growing every year. Obviously the climate, the movement become better and better, hotter and hotter, and Pinot Noir actually love that. And when I remember 25 years ago, Pinot Noir in Alsace was about 3 or 4% of the product. Today we are probably between 12% to maybe soon 15%. And a part of it are also because people want to challenge as to make a more rosé Crémant. And that is a beautiful example of this one.
I know, it's pretty serious, isn't it? And again, it's really dry. But I thought, if we're going to have a Crémant d'Alsace, which is 100% Pinot Noir, we should have that from people who just know their Pinot Noir in and out.
Exactly. And this Pinot Noir, it's about a beautiful combination from the perfume of vine peach, ripe red fruit, a little bit raspberry, strawberry, but you have got also this hint of vanilla, cinnamon, a bit of spice. It feels slightly leathery at an angle, but it's a very delicate perfume.
You know what I would really like to have with this? I don't know why I'm thinking of it right now, but it is saltimbocca alla romana, which is kind of veal cutlets fried with Parma ham in sage and butter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that popped into my mind, but it's probably that edge of spice that is there.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, I think a pink meat like the lamb, it's perfect with it. Because sometimes you just need something to complement with it, to still keep the flavor of the lamb, to be nice and elegant, but you need to bring also a little bit of fruit, a little bit of structure. And I think what I am impressed with this wine as a texture on the palate, it's quite vinous as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got a great structure.
Let's explain what that means when we say a sparkling wine is vinous. Means that it feels more like a still wine, that it has more weight?
Technically, it gives you almost this impression, a little bit more weight, more rich, rounded, structured, big. But what I love and I find that beautiful in these wines, it's got a beautiful finish where it's still vibrant, it's mineral, it's almost like it gives you the impression to clean your palate and make you feel like you want to go back again.
That's the trouble. I can never stop when it comes to sparkling wine. What's the hottest new trend in wine cellars? VinoView by Wine Enthusiast. VinoView will change how you cool and display your favorite wines. The patented matrix shelf design displays wine labels forward to showcase your favorite bottles. It comes standard with 12 built-in rolling shelves, each comfortably holding 12 750ml bottles of all shapes and sizes. With a 155 bottle capacity, VinoView is the only wine cellar of this type that can hold the number of bottles it advertises. Guaranteed. And it's not only sleek in design, it also has a state-of-the-art compressor cooling performance. Wine Enthusiast's VinoView is available exclusively from the Wine Enthusiast catalogue. Visit wineenthusiast.com and find out why customers are calling VinoView awesome, beautiful, and a must-have product. To experience VinoView, visit wineenthusiast.com or call one of our experienced wine storage experts at 800 356 8466. Now, thinking that we've had three fundamentally different wines, we've spoken about food pairings for all three of these wines, but what are the occasions where you just open, you when you're not on the restaurant floor, you when you are just, in your own downtime, what is the moment when you open a Crémant?
The easy part will be as a welcoming drinks at my place, and you want to show off a little bit because you are from Alsace and you have got some fantastic wine. Let's be honest. But after, I find also to open a bottle of Crémant when you feel like it's hot, you feel a little bit thirsty, you want some great bubbles. It's easy. It's make a day to be more special, and I think it's it can be used at any time.
So now, Eric, tell me a little bit more. I tried to ask you, and you said a welcome drink at home, and when you just want to relax, do you have a special and beautiful Crémant d'Alsace memory?
I've got many. Obviously, yes, because I think Alsace are about a Crémant to be open. It's about to celebrate. I think it's also the context about to be Alsatian, because in Alsace we are people with a big heart, we are generous, and I remember many times to open a bottle because I want to approach the people and I want to show them how generous we are, and Crémant d'Alsace are what you want to show.
So Crémant d'Alsace for you is a little ambassador for Alsace.
Definitely. I find that the Crémant d'Alsace today is not just a complement to a lineup just to say we do sparkling wine. We make sparkling wine. We have got a huge quantity of sparkling wine, but we can also produce some very high class. And I think all these three are definitely pure ambassador of quality Crémant d'Alsace right now.
I know, because some people sometimes tend to look down a little bit on Crémant, thinking it as sort of the stepchild of, they think champagne is the real thing and Crémant is a step down. But I think these three wines here show us that this isn't really the case.
And I'm pretty sure if these three Crémant will be on the lineup of a champagne, it will be interesting to see who come as a quality winners.
Yes, I think blind tastings are always revealing, aren't they?
Exactly, and I think that will be a good example.
Okie dokie, wonderful. So I am helping myself to another bit of the Brut Nature because I am addicted to it. I know I shouldn't admit that in public, but I just love its racy freshness. Eric, lovely chatting to you about fizz, with fizz, and it was lovely. And yeah, salute again. Or, as you say in Alsace, skilt.
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 Thank you for listening to this episode of the Wine Enthusiast podcast about the versatile bottle-fermented sparkling wines of Alsace, the most popular fizz in France after champagne. For good reason, as we learned. With Eric, I tasted and sipped these three wines. De la Carré Brut Nature Crémant d'Alsace 2014, rated at 95 points, for $25. Domaine Charles Bauer Crémant d'Alsace Brut non-vintage 93 points and $25. Domaine René Muret Crémant d'Alsace Rosé non-vintage 93 points and $40. Find a Crémant d'Alsace near you and enjoy. You can subscribe to the Wine Enthusiast podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you find podcasts. And if you liked today's episode, we'd so appreciate a review and your comment. Please tell your friends to check us out too. For more wine reviews, recipes, guides, and stories, visit Wine Enthusiast online at winemag.com. The Wine Enthusiast podcast is produced by Marina Vatage and Jenny Grosser. Until next episode, cheers, or as we say in Alsace, skilt.